Championships here in lovely Limerick, Ireland. My name is Troy Weston, and I am here with the inimitable legend,
Charlie Mercer.
We are here to commentate on this wonderful matchup. We have Molly Gray from Colorado, and we have lowercase from Ontario, Canada. This is going to be a battle. What are you expecting to see today?
I am expecting a force of a game. I'm expecting both teams that are undefeated so far in this tournament. They are both 3-0, having really been, lowercase has been demolishing teams with their scores 15-6, 15-3, 15-6, and Molly Brown has been gritty, fighting out through much closer battles.
Patterson with the disc in the middle, comes over to Ye. Roden.
Oh, what a big.
Whoa, finding Kraus up there. Puts it back to Slattery. Slattery looking for a reset here. Oh, a huge bid from Patterson. Couldn't quite grab that disc though, and lowercase will have a turn to bring it down the field. Thorson right now with the disc. Crossfield yard gainer.
Nice grab
by Brennerman there. T with the disc now in the middle. Patiently awaiting something open up, and a run through D. That was a great run through D there by Rebecca Roden. But Molly Gray couldn't quite capitalize on that turnover, and the disc sails into the end zone.
I think that the weather and the rain is definitely going to make this an upwind downwind situation. I think that we can expect to see a lot of the huck and play D strategy when you're going downwind, forcing the team to have to work it upfield, make sure you get that field position if your throw is at all going to be risky.
Absolutely. Thorson with the disc now.
This flat mark is really forcing lowercase to work it laterally, which is really working for Molly Gray.
That's an unfortunate drop from McPherson there. Molly Gray right outside the end zone line. Can they put it in? Little pop, high release backhand by Ye. Couldn't quite hold on to it, unfortunately. That was Reich that just couldn't get a hold of that disc, unfortunately, and now we've got Thorson picking up the disc again for lowercase.
Those high release around backhands in the wind are going downwind are so tricky. It's so easy to just go right past your receiver. Go sit there.
Yeah. Well, a little bobble, but she manages to hold on to it. Now centering to Benedict.
Benedict is a legend.
Brennerman now. Huge gainer up there to T. Looking to reset the disc now to Brennerman again. Up to Chasson. And again to Benedict outside the end zone, and we have our very first score for the lowercase Benedict to McPherson.
Wow, nice work. That was beautiful work by lowercase there. Moving it laterally, using all their players, taking those short gaining passes to make sure they maintain possession while they're walking it up the field. I played against Alex Benedict in college both when I was at McGill and when I was at the University of Maryland. She was at Ottawa at the same time. So much fun to guard, such a fierce competitor.
I have been watching her for years on many iterations of Canadian teams. She is a phenomenal player.
Yeah, and I think that we will be saying her name many times throughout this broadcast.
Undoubtedly.
I love the step out on that around backhand. Make sure you get enough space to throw it up into the wind.
That was our first point, an upwind point, a nice offense hold point there by lowercase. And now we'll see if Molly Gray can do the same.
If lowercase can get this break, it's going to be a big deal.
Moorcroft in the middle with the disc, and over to Black. Back to Beetle Moorcroft. Lowercase putting on a bit of a zone here. Gets pushed back to Black, looking for an option out. Finds Beetle Morgan.
I'm really into this flat zone to force those lateral passes. Lowercase is kind of, it's not quite a handler sag, but it's not a true cup either. But it's really taking away those lanes.
Looks like they've melted into a match defense now. Beetle Moorcroft back to Black. Oh, my mistake, they are still in zone. Just was a bit loose there for a minute. Beetle Moorcroft on the sideline, seeing a bunch of crashes, manages to get a sneaky pass off to Dixon there. Ooh, an OI around the cup. Finds Mitchell up the line.
Nice throw by Dixon there.
Back to Black in the middle. Over to Daniels. Oh, a nice grab there by Dixon. Finds Mitchell now on this sideline. Unfortunate turnover there though, and the Lowercase just snacks that on in the air. Robinson with the disc for Lowercase now. Huge flick hook! And an amazing read and grab there by Boisvert.
What a put! Lowercase, are they gonna do it?
Oh, and we have our first break of the game. Boisvert to Vandersloot. A great downwind break from Lowercase.
They're setting the tone. They're coming out firing.
That was a great flat zone like you were mentioning during the point. That was just, Molly Gray did not have a lot of options upfield. We saw a lot of crashing from that cup. What do you think Molly Gray are going to have to do to break this zone?
I think that they're going to have to take riskier chances. You know, like we saw, there was that opportunity when Alicia Dixon threw it around the cup, was able to get it to that receiver on the sideline to that wing, and that wing needs to be ready to hit another downfield pass to stay in front of the cup in order for them to really be successful here.
Man, just taking another look at that huge upwind or downwind flick hook. Beautiful read and grab
that placement, there. Right? Like you can really see how she gives it a little bit extra oomph and a little bit extra height to give it that touch on that downwind throw.
Perfect placement on that. Their defender had no chance on that.
I bet we can expect some sort of huck play kind of right off the bat here from Molly Gray, because they're going to want to make sure that if there's a turnover, it's far from their defending end zone.
Slattery to pick up for Molly Gray.
Slattery is all over the stats board for them in this tournament so far.
With throws like she's got, you can see why. Oh, and we have the block. Amanda Froze with the block on that mark.
And you could see that Slattery was going for the hook, right?
She was, but Amanda Froze said, no, not in my house.
That was beautiful.
Thorson now with the disc for Lowercase on the sideline. Oh, tries to get that IO flick off, but just not quite enough underneath it for Benedict.
Oh, Slattery wants it.
Oh, but that is snacked out of the air by Benedict. No problem at all. But Molly Gray will have another chance.
Oh, what a bid!
Huge bid right there from Kamen. Not completed though, so Thorson now again with the disc for Lowercase.
Seems like this Lowercase offense is really trying to rush, and they're not taking enough time with their execution, which is leading to these kinds of miscues, incompletions, that's preventing them from being able to get another break.
And another turnover, but we see Slattery going for that pickup again. Holsters the huck this time, finds Marcy and McCree in the middle.
Oh, nice defense.
Oh, Oh, and just out of the reach there of Krause. I think that might have been a stall 9 Hail Mary huck. Great defense on lowercase side, particularly Amanda Froese just shutting down Slattery on that reset.
You know, on the stat sheet, she's not going to get credit for that D, but that was absolutely her D by shutting down Slattery.
For sure. Thorson looking upfield.
Ooh, nice grab.
Great grab out of the air there by McPherson. Fortunate turnover there again from lowercase. We'll see if Molly Gray can take advantage.
Slattery wants it.
Looks for the huck again, but it is picked off once again.
Slattery's known
by LaBelle.
Slattery is known for her forehand hucks, and we're seeing that a lot this game, and I think we will continue to see it a lot. I think her more successful hucks have going downwind, she's put that extra air on it, but when she's slanging that bullet, too much going downwind.
Thorson finds Benedict in the middle. Over to LaBelle. Back to Thorson. Oh, that wind just took that a little bit. Didn't quite have the grip. Might have been the rain. Slipped out of her finger. Slattery again from Molly Gray. A huge grab just outside. Unfortunately, caught it out of bounds there. Kamen with that grab, but couldn't keep it in bounds. Thorson with the disc again for lowercase. Centers it to Warren. And over to Froese. Froese with the big huck, but it's going to get picked off very easily there by Steege.
Ooh, nice grab by Slattery.
A rolling grab by Slattery. Looks like it is contentious to be out of bounds. Having a little bit of a conversation there.
It looks like it also may have been touched by the mark to have had it spin.
McPherson on the mark there. The game advisor is saying he thought it was in. The players have decided to go with his opinion on that. Unfortunately, Slattery couldn't quite get enough underneath that, and lowercase will get the disc again. Thorson. Beautiful eye and an even nicer catch by Warren. Back to Froese. Finds a hole to Thorson. Up to McPherson. Back to Thorson. And Froese. Thorson. Choisson on the far sideline. Lowercase finally gaining some yards. Thorson leading pass. LaBelle just outside the end zone. Looking for a reset, can't find one. There's Thorson in the middle, continuing. Beautiful continuation there, just a well-timed cut from McPherson for another break.
I think you could really see how tired the Molly Gray players were at the end of that point. After fighting so much back and forth, their defense wasn't as tight. They were lagging off the players, and that allowed lowercase to be able to get it to this backhand break side, and those backhand rounds upwind, even just that little inside dishy is what opened up that lane, allowed them to move solidly down the field without some of the execution errors that we were seeing earlier in that point.
That was a slog of a point. Multiple turnovers. Here, we're going to have a look at some of the replays. That's Slattery there. Huge hand block from Froese again. What a great hand block on that first turnover.
Play of the game so far. Although that's a really nice D by Benedict. You know, it's a good game when in one point you get like multiple replays you want to be watching. Like we are in for it. We're in for the next point.
peril with the disc for Molly Gray. Over to Kafka. Bolt. Great last name, Bolt. Back to Kafka. Looking for a way to break through lowercase's zone. Back to Bolt. Oh, hanging. Oh, flick. You know, it kind of looked like McLaughlin may have stopped rotation on that disc, but the players are talking about it.
I think this is one of those instances where the distinction between like the North American rule set and the WFDF rule set really comes into play. And it's interesting because both these teams are more familiar with the North American USA Ultimate rule set, but we are at a WFDF tournament. And so the rules of what constitutes a foul, we're playing under WFDF rules. And so these teams probably are used to being more physical, but in this play where we're really trying to like respect and avoid contact, does this honor that? What do you think?
It's hard to tell right now. The disc, technically, once it's stopped rotation in your hand, it is an extension of your body, so you can call a foul on that. Turns out, it looks like either they couldn't come to a decision or it was a stuck to contest. Either way, the disc will go back to the thrower. Bolt with the disc again. Now, is this a double slough we're seeing, or is it a diamond zone? Kafka over to Bolt.
That's
An unfortunate drop there. That is just too bad from the Molly Gray offense. Pinard to pick up. Atkinson just outside the end zone for a streaming into the end zone. Robinson couldn't quite make it there. Steps back, gets it off to Boisvert for another break from lowercase. Charlie, were you expecting to see so many breaks this early in the game?
I was not expecting to see so many breaks earlier in this game. It's interesting because both teams seem to be playing pretty similar strategies. They're both forcing a lot of lateral passes. They're kind of throwing like a junky kind of thing, but lowercase is just executing at a higher percentage. They're tighter.
And I'm not surprised that we're seeing a timeout here, so we will take a bit of a break and we will be right back.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and fund our work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
With the pull, Molly Gray seeing if they can capitalize on one of their O points before lowercase breaks again. Hopefully that timeout was helpful to them. Patterson with the disc in the middle.
Give it to Alicia Dixon.
It's a disc in with the huge hug. Goes over Alec Betting's head and into the hands of Broden for Molly Gray's first score of the day. They finally break the board.
I think that's the play. Just give it to Alicia Dixon. Let Alicia Dixon run the field. Dixon is such a strong player, has such a reputation in the USA Ultimate scene for making plays and causing stuff to happen on the field like they did right there. And I think that we, in this, for Molly Gray to make a statement, we want Alicia Dixon, Molly Gray wants Alicia Dixon to be really like giving them the ball, letting them put up throws, make big plays in the air. That's going to be the key to their success, to turn this around.
That is definitely more of the Molly Gray that we know and love. And I'm sure we're going to see more of that as this game progresses. Dixon back on the field for the pull now. Molly Gray really need to get a couple breaks here to even this out.
Do you think they go with some sort of junk or a zone, or do you think they go person over here?
Hard to say. It is maybe a person D, since we're they're going, like, lowercase will be going downwind. But if they've got some strong defenders for a deep game, we could see a bit of a zone. Match D it is. Robinson. To Pinot. Back to Robinson.
Ooh!
And a nice D there. Oh. Black had a hand on it, but Robinson is saying she also thought she had a chance on that, and maybe Black hit her hand?
From looking at her hand signals, it looks like she's probably arguing the principle of verticality of I'm entitled to the space that's directly above my head, and in order to make that block, you had to go over my head, and like you were saying, like there's that hand contact.
Yeah, they're definitely having a bit of discussion. Game advisor standing by, ready to jump in. And these two teams, like you were saying before, they both are used to playing North American Ultimate. The game advisors are not the same that North American Ultimate normally has, because they play with observers normally.
And observers' rulings are binding, which is one of the big distinctions between observers and game advisors. One of the other rules that I appreciate here is that if you cannot reach a resolution with the player within 15 seconds, you're recommended to go to a game advisor. And if that doesn't reach it, then it is a contested call and you redo the throw.
Huge huck from and a big mid, and she's got it. What a grab.
Wow!
Fans are hugging her. I can't see her number. Who did that grab?
The throw was Jessie Robinson.
Shield with the huge grab on lowercase. Fantastic play outfit there.
What a play. That's how you answer a foul call.
No, that was not Shield. That was Kelly with that grab.
We can always blame our stats person. What are they doing? That was a phenomenal grab. Lowercase really showing their execution.
And that was a nice O point. Lowercase for the hold there.
If you're at lowercase at this point, you're still pretty early in the tournament. You know, there are 2 pools in the Women's Masters division. This is probably when you start to open up your lines, making sure everyone is having the chance to play. You have 2 upwind, downwind break sets.
A bit of a junk defense there. Reich in the middle. Back to McCree.
I actually think it was just some sloppy person. Just a little, a sag in the other set.
Reich, yard gainer there. Up to Kraus. Molly Gray looking a little cleaner on their offense now. Slattery in the middle, swings it over. Back to Slattery. And to McCree. Looks off her upfield options, too close to that defense. But Slattery finds Kraus. Molly Gray knocking on the doorstep.
Ooh, What an around!
Nice around break. McCree in the end zone with the score. Beautiful break from Slattery.
That was absolutely gorgeous. You know, I think that as this rain goes away, it allows these players to do a better job showing off the incredible skill sets that they have. You know, Slattery just slaughtering that mark to, have a nice open player on the break side, makes it an easy goal.
Slaughtering?
Yes, thank you. Thanks for calling out my wordplay. I appreciate you.
Look at that lunge, just beautiful backhand break.
Slattery will sometimes play for a team called Poto. Shout out to any Poto listeners out there. I think that both teams are still having a lot of success with trying to force those lateral throws, making, the wind in this stadium is known for being really swirly. And so that's making, you're having, sometimes it's a little cross, sometimes it's a little upwind, downwind, sometimes it changes throw to throw, and so by forcing the teams to go laterally, you're counting on the other team to eventually make an execution error.
I think if you had a forced sideline mark as well, that would really help because then you're the sideline as your eighth defender, right? And you're really counting on the wind pushing it out of bounds in either direction. Robinson's pick up for half. Lowercase, pardon me.
Foul, no contest.
Uncontested foul there from Foster. Good spirit. Atkinson with the disc now. Great grab from Blackett under pressure.
Molly Gray is fighting. You can see that D is getting so tight.
Robinson on the far sideline. A huge gainer to the end zone. Thorpe with the catch. Under a lot of pressure D. That was a great pressure D from Molly Gray there. They were not making it easy for those lowercase players.
Absolutely not. That's a beautiful hold by lowercase.
First clean 0 point I think we've seen this game as well.
Yeah. Like we were saying, as the conditions get better, we're getting to see the true excellence that these teams really have in their possession. Something that I appreciate about the Masters Division is all of the wonderful plays on the names that we have. And so Molly Gray is a play on Molly Brown. And so Molly Brown is a well-known top American club team, and Molly Gray was formed sort of initially as the alumni team. And fun fact, Molly Gray does not have any current Molly Brown players on them at this World's Tournament this year. So but they do have teams representing a number of other club teams. They have teams from Shame, they have players from, teams from Shame. They have players from Shame, players from Small Batch, and players from Trash. Still in the club scene, just not with Molly Brown.
McCree with a huge gainer to Yan. Great catch under pressure there. Hammond with the disc on the sideline. It looked like a bit of a collision there. I'd be surprised if a foul wasn't called.
Benedict with the bid. You getting your replay on your screen? Oh, yeah. It really looks like Benedict had to go through her.
Yeah, tried to sneak in there. Couldn't quite make it. Mm-hmm. McLaughlin now to come on for Roden.
Jade McLaughlin played in the Western Ultimate League, one of the U.S.'s American women's professional ultimate leagues. Really made a name for herself there, just putting up lots of stats, really a driver for her team.
Nice. I love how her Under Armour pants are matching, very matching her jersey here.
The WFDF uniform appendix rules say that your under layers need to be matching in team color.
Oh, a nice pinky grab there by Patterson. Yeah. Back to the block on the other side.
Oh, look at that shimmy.
Yay. huge OI flick coming to the back of the end zone. Did she toe it in? Young with the catch, did not quite manage to keep that in bounds. That was a visionary put, though. If she could have managed to keep that in bounds, that would have been beautiful.
It was still great. It's fine. It was a great throw. It was a great catch. We appreciate spectacular plays. Yeah, it didn't score a point, but fans are happy.
Thorson with the disc now for lowercase. A mainstay of the lowercase offense. Brenneman.
You can really see Molly Gray fronting here, trying to make lowercase take a lot of throws. They know they're not going to throw it deep because it will be hard to throw it deep because it's so upwind.
Brenneman with a nice inside flick there to McPherson. And an around to Benedict. Back to Brenneman.
Oh!
Huge flick.
Wow!
Finds Thorson right outside the end zone.
I say lowercase isn't going to huck it, and then they do!
Looking for a throw, can't find one. Looks like there might be a call on that play. A pick.
That was a great mark by Patterson, right? You know, that was clearly a high stall count throw. Patterson was, Thorson was really looking for who they could get it to.
Oh, and it looks like that was intended for the back of the stack, but just knocked down by their own player. Molly Gray now centers the disc to Kamen. Got a bit of a layout block there from Brenneman, and lowercase will have another chance in the end zone.
That upwind goal line is so critical.
Look at a little bit of a miscommunication from Warren. A bidding Benedict just collides.
I think Jade McLaughlin really did a great job there, sliding and protecting her body, noticing that there was a player incoming to be able to take any sort of impact and protect herself from injury.
Here's that huge flick hack again from Patterson. Ooh.
Benedict with the injury sub. Molly Gray.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Molly Gray availing themselves of the opportunity to also sub one.
Dixon coming on for Molly Gray and LaBelle coming on for lowercase.
Nice catch.
McCree with a rolling catch.
Looks like she used her legs to help catch it as well as her arms.
McLaughlin now with the disc in the middle. Points wants to see a deep shot.
That's nice pressure D.
Deep shot, but very nice pressure D there from Choisson. Brenneman picking up for lowercase. A floaty disc gets picked off by McCree. Great read there. Dixon to pick up with a huge around backhand.
More Dixon!
Oh, yes, McLaughlin with a huge catch in the end zone. Nearly falls over on that one. What an amazing backhand around from Dixon.
More Dixon!
Well, we know who Dixon's biggest fan is over here.
Can you blame me with throws like that? That's
was
spectacular.
pretty nice.
So you want to tell us about lowercase and capitals?
Yeah, so we were talking about the name puns. Molly Gray is coming from Molly Brown. Lowercase has a similar situation. Their club team used to be called the Capitals, mostly because their teammates the team members were from the capital Canada, so hence the Capitals. So when they started aging out and forming a women's masters team, they went with, of course, lowercase.
Woo! Name puns. We think we're funny. When I was competing at this event 4 years ago, I played for IROT because we were the old women team of Riot.
Yes, I do like that pun one, IROT.
Ooh, Dixon with the pull! This roller out the side is a Molly Brown classic. when Molly Brown does it, the roller means that you know they're going to set a trap zone. Doesn't seem to be the case here.
It might have just gone out the sideline because it was windy.
That's way less fun.
Pinar with the pickup. Atkinson. Oh, great grab through pressure there by Boisvert.
Oh!
Huge layout D there. Michelle Yang.
Wow!
Flack to pick up now for Molly Gray.
That's a D that you keep in your head, like as your personal highlight reel when you're trying to get pumped for the game. Good job, Michelle Yang.
Lowercase putting out a difficult trap on that end zone, and that gets picked off by Boisvert again. Pinot now looking for an around break, finds Robinson, who continues that break to Atkinson. And another break, just breaks all around, all day long, into the end zone for Shield.
That's beautiful. Shield's second goal. Both of them layouts. Can she score any other way?
So that was just a really beautiful continuation offense point from Lowercase. They managed to capitalize on the fact that Molly Gray had just, their players all wound up on this sideline where they were really trying to get that off. And so now we just see break after break after break as the Molly Gray players just try to catch up to their marks, and they're just not able to. Lowercase just quickly capitalizing on that.
And that's what you saw in the replay just there.
Yeah.
They're able to move it from the high side to the low side, going around to be able to put it into the end zone. And that's what you get when you work the disc on the high side, that you can just send it over to the low side. Those throws are easier. It's really nice work by Lowercase. And they have the ability to get an upwind break here for half.
Let's see if they can do it. McPherson with the pull.
But it does seem like the wind is picking up here.
Yeah, just look at those flags across the pitch. They are screaming. Roden looking for Slattery. Fantastic do by Thorson there. Slattery just could not find a way to get open. Benedict. Oh no, pardon me, that's the bell. Chaisson. There's Benedict. Over to Froze. McPherson. Back to Thorson and over to Froze again. Just using the width of the field, these Lowercase. Oh, unfortunately Froze's disc just went through the hands of Thorson. So Molly Gray to pick up again. Huge flick hook right off the bat for a score. Slattery with the score. McCree on that throw.
Those are names we're hearing a lot. Dixon, McCree, McLaughlin, Slattery. Those are clearly the difference makers for this Molly Gray team.
For sure. And that was just a great capitalization on that quick break. An unfortunate drop by Thorson there. And Molly Gray was just able to pick up and go. Slattery recognizing, taking off.
Yeah, as I think about what Molly Gray needs to do to get themselves back in this game, you know, we're seeing it Lowercase get off a lot of around breaks. And I think that if they shift their marks to cover more of those around breaks and make them take more of the inside shots, particularly making them take the inside forehands going upwind, it'll create more execution errors for Lowercase and more opportunities for Molly Gray to get the blocks.
Could be the difference maker.
So if I were on the Molly Gray sideline, that's what I'd tell them right now.
Harrell with that pull. Looking like a match defense again. Now to pick up a high release backhand.
Bold.
Atkinson now with the disc on the sideline. Down the line. Nice catch by Kelly in the end zone. Lowercase with the hold to take half.
That was pretty.
What a spectacular half this has been. We have seen some gritty defense from both teams. I am really looking forward. What do you think we're going to see in the second half of this game?
You know, if I'm being honest, I think Lowercase has this handled, and I think they're going to keep pushing down. I think that if you look at the point differentials from before, it does continue to tell the story of this game. That so far, while both teams are 3-0, Molly Gray has scored 41 goals, but they have had 30 goals scored against them, so their games have been a lot closer, right? Lowercase, however, has scored 45 goals, but only had 15 goals scored against them. And I think that cleanliness of execution is what we're probably going to see in the second half. What do you think?
I think it's time to go for a break, and we'll be back in 5 minutes, and we can chat more about this game.
Woo!
He's in a great spot. He's in a perfect spot. Yes, his massive head has blocked everything. That was a huge play, but we have seen none of it. Finny, he's done it.
Bichon picks up, and they've got a short field. They've got another goal. It's tied up at 12. I cannot believe what I'm seeing
Can
here.
Lola Dam chase that one down? That is a score for Hartlicker Elferkel. Fantastic run by Julia Lutz.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge.
And we believe that requires knocking down the paywall.
We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch, and we want them to go viral.
When you become a member, you enable us to improve our working relationships with tournament organisers, events and federations.
And you'll help us to produce live stories for Ultimate fans, and to generate new fans with our enhanced content.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts, and we want to bring you coverage on a more consistent basis. We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Ciao ragazzi, support the community.
And subscribe Ulti TV. There's lots of the videos, posting, everything. Check it out. They are the best one. Woo! If you want to grow Ultimate Sports, become a member of Ulti TV.
Regardez Ulti TV. Deviens un membre d'Ulti TV et fais grandir ta communauté.
Top Ulti TV. Dale eroginkime Ultimate Vendromene. Si quieres ayudar a Ulti TV, puedes ser miembro de Ulti TV.
Everyone, follow Ulti.tv on Instagram, on YouTube. They've got everything.
Best content.
Like their pictures if you love frisbee. Just do it.
We're counting on you.
Bli medlem på Ulti TV.
Became member
of Ulti TV.
Mamma mia.
Contribue au développement d'Ultimate avec Ulti TV.
Like and subscribe. Ulti TV, the best in the world.
We want to grow Ultimate.
we want to grow Ultimate. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We have our signature style 2-camera setup,
With thousands of hours of experience,
and our crew is globally dispersed to facilitate coverage everywhere around the world. We can also scale back our broadcast with just one elevated camera, or scale up with 2 fields, 2 cameras, and 2 commentators on each.
we work with local teams and we all have the same mission, to grow the sport and bring it to new people by providing live coverage and news stories.
Become a member today on our Patreon page.
And fund our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories, ideas and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
And we are back. Welcome to the second half of this phenomenal game. Molly Gray from Colorado, USA versus Lowercase from Ontario, Canada. I'm Troy Weston here in the booth with my good friend
Charlie Mercer!
And we are just having the time of our lives talking about this game. Lowercase went up a couple breaks at the beginning of the game, but since then they have been trading points and it has been phenomenal to watch.
You know, the score is 8-4, but from being here, the game feels much closer than that. It really, every point feels like a battle. Every point has just tons of highlights, spectacular plays.
And can you really blame it with the amount of names that we have on this field right now?
And the names that we don't have on this field. So when talking to the teams before this game, both teams really wanted to highlight the number of players that weren't able to join them. So we're getting this point started, but we'll come back to those specific shout-outs to the teammates that weren't able to be here for various reasons after this point.
Molly Gray putting a bit of a zone on as Robinson goes to pick up the disc. An over-the-top throw is picked off by Dixon. What a read on that, and she lands on the disc to stop it from rolling. Petal Moorcroft in the middle now.
Ooh, popping over.
Did she toe that in?
That was a beautiful
Daniel's
attempt.
Foot on the line, they're calling that, but that was good effort. Really nice effort there. Pinar with the disc into the end zone for Vandersloot. A nice, easy, open side score for Lowercase.
You know, like, scores are great, but the energy is so hard on that for Molly Gray. Like, having come off of such a great bid, you know, like towing the line. Like, that's the highlight reel from that highlight reel play from that last point. But, like, you know, Lowercase got the score. And
oh, and there's that D again from Dixon.
I also really appreciate the dive to stop the rollback. Like, that's such a club level move of, like, that shows a level of experience that she has.
Justin streaking up the line cut there.
Two defenders, neither of them close.
Really nice cut there by Vandersloot.
Okay, so some shout outs to some specific Lowercase players, some teammates that couldn't be here. Carly on the sidelines, Hoodie, Darcy, Laura, Allie, Nina. Bummed that you are not here with Lowercase, but you are still part of the team. You are loved, you are missed, and you are here with them in their hearts. Special shout out to Nina, who was a college teammate of mine and just such a phenomenal human.
This is an attest to how the wind is of Brenneman on that pole, and it doesn't even make halfway.
Doesn't even make a third of the way.
Patterson picking up for Molly Gray. Finds it down the line cutter, Emily Krause.
I think we're going to see the wind here be more of a factor.
The wind is absolutely soaring now as Ye gets that around break off. Beautiful continuation cut there from Emily Steege.
You know, that play looked really similar to a Lowercase possession earlier where they had the disc on the high side, they had that around break to get it to the middle, and then the sealing it with the around break into the end zone. And you can see that happening here on the replay.
Slattery not even letting her defense set up there.
Just great.
Well-timed cuts from each and every single one of those Molly Gray players.
Yeah, it takes a lot of heads up to see where the progression of the play is going so you can make that cut and time it perfectly before the mark is able to set so that it's an easy throw.
Absolutely.
That's Masters level ultimate right there. We don't need skills. We have age and experience with us. Maybe it's we don't need athleticism. We have age and experience.
I think that's better.
But these players have it all.
Harrell with the pull now. Whoa, and the wind is just howling. The disc is really not traveling very far at all on these pulls.
You know, those break sets that lowercase got early in the game really going to be the difference maker here.
Brenneman. Oh no, sorry, Robinson. Oh, just out of the hands. Couldn't quite hold on to it there, Boulder.
Ooh, we got that flat junk set from lowercase. Trying to force a lot of lateral passes.
Smith. Over to Harrell. Two-person cup right now. Black with the disc. Over to Harrell again. Foster. Back to Black. Good swing pass there to Bolt. Continuing across the field. Back to Black on the low side. Bolt in the middle again. To Beetle Moorcroft. Back to Bolt. Continues it up. Black having to track that down, making sure she doesn't fall out of bounds while catching that disc. Lowercase just pushing back Molly Gray, not able to find much up the middle right now, but doing a good job patiently swinging it back and forth between the handlers.
Molly Gray looks really good right now. I'm really impressed by this handler.
Managed to find a bit of a gainer upfield now to Rebecca Mitchell. And we're back to swinging it across to the handlers. Beetle Moorcroft now with the disc on the far sideline.
These conditions are so hard going upwind. You know, it really allows the deep to push in so far, and that field and that open space gets compressed with lots of people. It's hard to throw these precise throws with so many gusts of wind.
Harrell now, just a bit of a gainer there, but too floaty of a pass, and Beetle Moorcroft just couldn't hang on to that. In this wind, you really have to pay attention to that wrist snap on every single throw, or the wind will just pick it up and run away with it.
And when you're receiving it into your hands, making sure you're following it through all the way through that possession.
Pinard with a big huck down the line to Atkinson.
There's that high release backhand.
To Boisvert, kneeling to catch that and make sure it's really in her hands. But a missed throw to Atkinson, and Molly Gray will have another chance to bring this upwind.
You can really see the low release there since you're going upwind.
Flack now with the disc on the far sideline. Handlers again really doing their best to swing it back and forth, waiting for some kind of opening in that cup. Beetle Moorcroft in the middle. Over to Flack. Back to Beetle Moorcroft. A bit of a bobble there, but she manages to hang on to it. And Flack.
Ooh.
Finds a round OI flick up to Foster.
Those are the shots that Molly Gray needs to take in order to break the zone. Those kind of like down the sideline, around.
And again, here we go. Just a little bit too floaty on that, but Foster will call a foul.
Conversation with Vandersloos.
It did hang up there. Definitely a lot of time for the defense to run into it, but if she couldn't get a clean hand on that, hard to tell on that playback. That could really go either way. Will go. Looks like it will go uncontested though, so Foster has the disc on the sideline and throws it back to Harrell. Harrell with a nice around break to Bolt. As lowercase melts a person, but an unfortunate drop by Smith there in the middle, and lowercase will pick it up again. Robinson. Boisvert with the kneeling catch again. Atkinson.
This upwind is hard enough that these downwind catches are also really challenging because the disc is coming in so fast.
And Thorpe with the throw into the end zone for Boisvert. Lowercase with another downwind score for the hold.
They make it look easy.
You can really tell the upwind and the downwind situation. Lowercase really using the up and down the field, a lot of the vertical space, really keeping the disc in the center of the field, whereas Molly Gray really having to work it around that cup and swing it from side to side while working it upwind.
Yeah. If you're Lowercase, you're feeling really great. You're feeling really in control of this game. You have the break sets that you need. You know that your offense is going to be able to score downwind every time and be able to win this crucial pool play matchup.
Yep, they just need to continue to hold, and this game will go in their favor. Molly Gray, on the other hand, what do you think they can do to come back and get those breaks that they need to get back into this game?
They're going to have to take riskier shots, which is hard in this wind, but they have phenomenal athleticism, and I think that they're going to need to throw more of those around shots to break through that zone.
A lot of them have been quite successful so far. Slattery.
Ooh, what a grab! That's the athleticism!
Reich on the sideline, back to Slattery. Oh, but a missed disc there from Michelle Yang in the middle. Thorson to pick up now for Lowercase. Warren. And a reaching grab by McPherson. That was a great D block there. Number 25, Marilyn Reich. And with the catch just outside the end zone.
Come on, Molly Gray.
Over to McCree.
Athleticism, energy. You can do it, Molly Gray.
Are you supposed to be impartial here? Come on, Charlie.
I've been complimenting Lowercase nonstop.
Huge bid. Marilyn Reich, I almost thought that was bookends for her. Instead, she's right outside the end zone, knocking on the door. A pick.
Absolutely critical in this possession, though, right? Getting the block, getting a bunch of big gainers under. Putting her body on the line to save possession.
Slattery coming out for the dump. Quick give and go. She gets the bookends. Big D right there from Marilyn Reich, and a score to finish off a break. A first break from Molly Gray.
It wasn't the commentator's curse here. It was the commentator's blessing.
Oh, that was not a break. Pardon me. Downwind, 0 point. My bad. I just got really excited.
It is exciting. Scoring is exciting. And right, we were just talking about what a player Reich is and showing it on the field. Like, those are the kinds of plays that Molly Gray needs to be completing and showing to be able to make a difference in this game.
Now they have the opportunity for the breaks, so the breaks are coming upwind. Dixon with the pull here. Let's see how far down the pitch she can get it this time in this blustering wind.
Molly Gray also has some shout outs. They want to shout out to their Monarch High School teams, and they want to shout out to their friends and family who are watching. We see you, we appreciate you, and to the Molly Gray athletes that also couldn't be here with them. Also to 5tran, who is their sponsor, who helped make this trip accessible to everyone on the team. Thanks, 5tran. Speaking of sponsors, you know what sponsor is going to be clutch right now?
What?
Friction gloves, because it's cold and windy. You want to get that grip on that disc to get a bunch of spin for sweet pulls like that.
And you know where you can get them?
At the VC merch tent.
At the VC merch tent, outfitting the world's best Ultimate player since 1998. Right now, we have Pinar to pick up. Could not get that disc through the wind. Black to Dixon now from Molly Gray. A wide open Paige Smith. Back to Dixon. And to Walker. Looking for Black. An overarching throw just out of the bidding hands of Kafka. So lowercase will have their O back.
Ooh, setting a zone.
Robinson with the huge IO backhand hook into the end zone. It is nearly caught by Vandersloot. Just bounces out of her hands. Unbelievable.
I'm really impressed by that throw, right? To get that throw off when you have 3 people around you, she like really had to pull her arm up and inside to get that higher, to like release, leading with her elbow to release high to get it up and over.
Using the wind to her advantage too on that IO, throwing it into the wind so that it comes back. Smith now coming up the sideline to McLaughlin. And Kafka. Back to Bolt and Black. Across to Smith again. Walker on the sideline with the disc now. Into Dixon's hands. Bolt with the huge layout mid grab. What a grab from Bolt to keep that disc alive. Black swings it over to Dixon.
That's going on the highlight reel.
Walker with the disc now. An unfortunate, just that wind just pushed that disc to the ground.
Those upwind forehands are hard. You have to put so much spin on them for them to be effective. You can see that
Brenneman now with the disc on the sideline. As Molly Gray sets up a zone again. While there,
I think their thinking here is that they want to help with field position, so knowing that like with the zone it's going to be harder for them to progress downfield, so hopefully they'll be able to get a better field position.
tons of diving grabs from the lowercase offense to keep it in play, but eventually just a missed throw from Atkinson just overthrows her intended receiver in the end zone a tiny bit, and Molly Gray will have another chance to break here. What an exciting point, full of layout bids and grabs.
This whole game has been exciting.
You're not wrong. Black with the disc now for Molly Gray. Back to Dixon. Bolt. Smith. Back to Bolt. Oh, and the wind just pushed it down. It's now just outside the end zone. Vandersloot picking up for lowercase.
Big opportunity for lowercase.
Robinson with the disc now as a pick was called in the end zone.
Players using their hand signals to communicate what's happening on the field.
Very helpful for the commentators.
And the other players.
Robinson. While there. Back to Robinson for the give go up the line. Good mark right there by McLaughlin, just cutting off that streaking Vandersloot into the end zone. That would have been a point if that mark had not flashed that.
That was absolutely McLaughlin's credit. It's like such a heads-up play to be able to flash there. But it still got off.
It was in vain, yes. Vandersloot with that score. Again, just the recut.
Another downwind 0 point. We are in that space of trading. I mean, it's really fascinating, right? Like, score is 6-10. We had that initial break run at the beginning, 4-0, that lowercase had, and have just been trading downwind since then.
I think the wind is helping lowercase stay in the lead a little bit right now, as it's going to be very, very difficult for Molly Gray to score anything upwind at this point. And they're going to need a few breaks to do so.
And this isn't necessarily visible on the stream, but it did just start raining. So now we have the rain and the wind. Welcome to sunny Limerick. It's a joy.
What? We haven't seen weather like this yet. That's surprising.
It's so warm. Are you so warm?
I am toasty warm. Definitely am not bundled in a toque and gloves. And for those of you listeners, a toque in Canadian is a beanie.
Hooray, Frisbee!
Lowercase looks like they're setting up a bit of a two-person cup. And a huge huck right off the get-go from Patterson, but sails a bit too far in the end zone. That wind can be so tough to throw a huck in.
I want to see more of that lowercase zone set. It was really fun having a person on the reset, 2 people in the cup. That's a fun setup.
Warren with the disc.
For now, we get to see their offense instead.
To Thorson. Back to Warren. Molly Gray also with the person defense. Brenneman now. Back to Thorson, just out of her hands. I think the D got a little bit of a piece on that as well.
It's a great bid.
Patterson now picked up for Molly Gray. Over to McCree. A nice run through D there by Chasson. Kimberly T with the disc in the middle now. McPherson with the sliding grab. Centers it back to Thorson. Back to T.
I'm so impressed with how these players can adjust their release points when they're going upwind and downwind. Every time. You know, you really see them going upwind, stepping out to get that low release.
Yeah, I think a lot of people underestimate how difficult that is. And a floaty disc will get picked off in the air from Rebecca Roden. Patterson.
Nice forehands on the
McCree
sideline.
with the huge IO flick to the end zone for the score.
There it is.
That was a nice floaty forehand score. Really great read there from Rebecca Roden, who I think we can attribute a double happiness there, or bookends, because she did get the D down here as well.
Jam it down the jam hole. This is a phrase used in America to talk about when you are taking the frisbee and putting it down a small lane on the far sideline. So there's only, 5-ish yards between where play is happening during the sideline. You're not breaking off the sideline. People just yell, jam it down the jam hole.
I heard one of our co-commentators here, Lorcan Murray, attributing that phrase to someone else from Europe. I don't remember who he said. Benji, I think it was. So I think that is a phrase that might just be used everywhere.
Great. So it's not just the oddness and crudeness of Americans. Hooray! We are getting late in the game here. This is the point at which, if Molly Gray is gonna make a run for this, they really, this is a critical break for them. They need to.
They definitely need to do it soon. That pull might help. That's a nice rolling pull. Actually makes it past the halfway point. Roden to pick up and has to stay on the sideline since it only rolled out of bounds. Robinson swings the disc over to Atkinson now.
It's a beautiful fake. It was super convincing.
Vandersloos. Back to Robinson.
This Molly Gray Cup is trapping both sidelines. I think that's a really smart move here.
Ooh. Pinar had to chase that one to keep it in, but a nice break down the field. Oh! Blackett, just a slip of that flick, I think. Thorpe couldn't quite change directions and catch that in time. So here is Molly Gray's chance to have a break run.
Work it up this field.
Dixon.
We see that familiar lowercase zone set.
Dixon to Bolt, Bolt to Dixon. Finds a hole through the cup. McLaughlin.
That's what we were talking about, the key to
continuing
success.
pass, beautiful continuation there over to Foster.
Great movement from
Back
Molly
to
Gray.
Dixon in the middle. A huge leading IO break there to Foster with the big layout grab. Back to Beetle Moorcroft in the middle. This could be the chance that Molly Gray needs. Oh my goodness. Daniels with that IO flick. Foster couldn't quite hold on to it.
So you can really see the Molly Gray players sticking their hands up there to stop that huck right off the play, right? Make that really hard so that if as lowercase is moving it, they have to go laterally.
They do not want to see Molly Gray move it back down this field right now, but they are. Thorpe with the disc to Vandersloos.
There
Big
it is.
around backhand, but that is not going to be completed as Dixon jogs to go pick that up. Wants to get that disc moving quickly.
Unfortunately, the Molly Gray teammates weren't quite ready for the movement that Dixon was.
Yang with that big grab out of the air. Now back to Dixon. Beetle Moorcroft up to Daniels. Molly Gray moving it quickly, but a floaty pass from Foster will just hang in the air and come down. Lowercase back on the disc with Robinson. A nice big throw over the top. Paige Smith now.
Lowercase is really being successful with those over the top.
Atkinson. Just a miscommunication there, couldn't quite complete, and Molly Gray has another chance.
It looks like a hole opened up in the lowercase cup that Molly Gray is able to get it through the cup when they really weren't able to before, and that's making a big difference here.
Daniels over to Beetle Moorcroft. Looks like there was a bit of a foul downfield, just some incidental contact there, so there will be a stoppage. Oh, a huge run through D. Melissa Vandersloos.
That was a gorgeous block.
Robinson had a little trouble finding a player. Managed to find Atkinson, but a missed throw will give Molly Gray and Dixon another chance. Huge backhand hook. Oh, and Daniels catches it on the second attempt and puts it into the hands of McLaughlin just outside the end zone. A huge bid from Michelle Yang will be missed just out of her reach. And lowercase now coming back the other way. What an exciting game. Okay.
You can see the game of field position that lowercase is playing here, right? Like, clearly when when that thrower is picking up, whether or not there's a receiver was not super important as was getting it out of their upwind end zone.
Dixon now on the sideline to Daniels. Daniels to finds McLaughlin, huge around to Dixon, and that's a break! That is a break for Molly Gray! The first break of theirs in the game, bringing the game to 11-8.
This is it! This is the comeback! This is what needed to happen! Y'all, I hope you're still around. Hope you didn't leave. It's happening.
What an exciting point that was. Just bids and hucks left, right, and center. Here's that IO break with a amazing layout grab from Foster there.
So much fight, so much grit on this field. Just play after play.
And a nice run through D.
But again, you can really see Alicia Dixon all over this field making stuff happen for Molly Gray.
That was the break they needed to stay in this game.
Yes, and the upwind break doesn't matter a whole lot unless you get the downwind break to seal it for this break set. And so, you know, if you are calling subs for Molly Gray right now, this is when you put on like one of your best lines because you need to seal this downwind break. Otherwise, you're always just going to have to go upwind, and that's hard.
And not surprisingly, we see Slattery with the disc for the pull.
It's a nice floaty pull, gives them a lot of field position.
Brenneman to pick up. Molly Gray coming down fast, not even letting off a first pass.
Oh, I love the cap that they had off the front of the sack.
It's just out of the reach for Chiasson. Oh! A very, very close grab for Emily Steege. Just couldn't quite get underneath it there.
Oh, there's a play again. What a bid.
Thorson now with the disc for lowercase.
I really appreciate this cap that Molly Brown was doing, or Molly Gray was doing at the front of the stack.
Well, it seemed to work. Out of the reach of Warren there. Slattery looking for the reset. Over to McCree. Back to Slattery just outside the end zone. Looks off a streaking cut. And it is picked off by Froze, but we do have a call on the play.
Was that pick called? Did it have an impact on the play? Players are discussing it on the field.
Doesn't look like it had an impact on the play, and Froze will keep the disc. A little bit stuck, an over the top throw, and Ye gets the D. McCree looking for things to open up for Molly Gray. Not a lot happening. Lots of busy cuts in the end zone.
That soul count must have been high.
Kamen going back for the dump. Another floaty high around break, this time picked off by Warren. Thorson to pick up. Another floaty one. Man, this wind is just taking these throws. Slattery picking up now.
You know, technically Molly Gray is on D here, but you can really see that it's the up and down one makes way more of a difference.
And there it was again, just the wind pushing that to the ground, and Steege couldn't quite get underneath that. Chiasson to Thorson. Up to Brenneman. Back to Thorson.
As a player, when you get it and the wind starts gusting, you're like, why does it start gusting when it's in my hands?
It is so intimidating to throw in sometimes.
And these players doing such a phenomenal job.
McPherson finds LaBelle. Lowercase slowly making their way down the field, really working those short undercuts.
Really patient.
And Thorson just out of the reach of Amanda Froze.
That's hard. You had lowercase players calling for a timeout there. It was being ignored. You heard the 9/10 stall as the lowercase thrower was releasing the disc, resulting in the turn that now gives Molly Gray possession. And Molly Gray instead is the team that calls the timeout.
Both teams just having a slog of a point, and we will take a break.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our
our
work
work.
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
And we're back after that quick timeout. Much needed for these players on the field. This point has been rough. Lots of wind, lots of turnovers. Slattery will be picking up the disc for Molly Gray.
We can see one of the rules of Ultimate where the offense sets up after a timeout. After the offense has established their initial position, they are not allowed to move, and then the defense is allowed to establish their position.
Brenneman taps it in. Slattery with a huge forehand hook right off the gate. Hands out there, easily picked off by McPherson.
Great read by McPherson.
LaBelle now to Thorson. Over to Froze. A catch under pressure by Warren. Up to Froze, a floaty pass, but she comes down with it. Another under pressure catch by Froze.
Lowercase really seems energized after this timeout. Seems like the break they needed.
Back to Thorson. Up to Brenneman, but it is knocked out of the air by Slattery. Molly Gray really needed that. And a huge flick huck again will not be completed, but it will force Lowercase all the way back down to their end zone.
You know, that's the throw you want to put up in this situation, right? Like, there was a lot of float on that forehand. It was possible, right? It gave your receiver the opportunity to maybe possibly run onto it. And if it didn't work out, you got the field position.
That's what you really need in this game, is the field position. Looks like there was a pick called, so it probably will go back to the thrower there.
And it does look like there's some question of whether or not that disc was up or down. But because the pick was involved, that supersedes it.
Warren will maintain possession of this disc. Cree on the mark. Ooh! A run through D, amazing by Rebecca Roden. A miscommunication from Ye and Slattery there, and there will be another turnover. The point continues.
In some of the American professional leagues, you're allowed to sub your squad on a timeout. These are the times.
Right.
These are the times where, if you're on the field, I bet you wish that rule was in effect here.
And a floaty pass there from Shannon will get knocked out of the air. Slattery calling for someone to go to the end zone.
Great block by Welch.
Reich with the catch there. And Thorson with the D for Lowercase.
Sorry, great block by Reich, not Welch. My bad.
We do our best to get your names correct. We apologize though if we do get any wrong at any point in time. Brenneman with the disc. LaBelle. Over to Chiasson. Looking for her reset. Pick was called downfield. The stall count will remain the same as when the pick was called.
I think you see more calls happen as the players are getting tired.
Ooh.
You can see your teammate really trying to avoid contact, and that's just hard.
That was a close call. I'm glad everyone's okay.
Safety, number 1.
Kamen now with the disc for Molly Gray. And a bid from Roden, but couldn't quite hold on to it. And I think the wind has even died down a bit now, but these players just look so tired. This is going to be a celebration of a point, whoever it ends up being. A huge layout bid from McPherson right in front of our booth. And Thorson, beautiful leading pass.
Oh, wow.
Right into the end zone for LaBelle, and Lowercase finishes this slog of a point, and you can just see the players falling to the ground with relief.
They're so tired. Also frustration and disappointment. Like we were saying, that was another important break for Molly Gray. They really needed to complete that set because now their O-line has to fight to go upwind.
I think, again, the wind gods were in the favor of Lowercase there. As I said, the wind had died down during that point just a little bit, allowing them to score that upwind hold. Unfortunate for Molly Gray.
Yeah, we have about 10 minutes until our cap goes on.
And that was just beautiful flow there from Lowercase. One backhand after the other.
Sorry, 15 minutes until our cap goes on. this hold's important. You know, if you're Molly Gray here, you're thinking about how you have to score quickly and efficiently. These long points aren't going to do it when you have to make up a 4-point gap.
Especially they would like to probably score a little timely before the wind picks up greatly again, which could really be at any second. You never know here.
Lincoln, the weather changes. That's a beautiful pull. I think that might be our first end zone pull that we've seen so far in this game.
Black to Beetle Moorcroft. Glockman. Beetle Moorcroft now again. Back to Black. Dixon playing a bit of a popper this time. Over the top throw to Harrell. Back to Black and to Harrell, playing a little give and go there. Over to Beetle Moorcroft. These handlers really working that cup up to Harrell. Beetle Moorcroft again. Black on the sideline finds an nice around pass there to McLaughlin.
He dropped it.
Unfortunate bobble there. Shoot. I thought that was completed. I even looked down.
Molly Gray running into their own player.
Robinson with the disc now to Vandersloot. Well, there, a nice diving grab by Shield. And a huge layout grab from Boisvert to finish off that downwind break. That is not what you want when you are a Molly Gray player, but that is exactly what you want on lowercase, is for that another break. You know, regaining that 4-point lead.
I think this is the point in the game that you can kind of see the energy deflation from Molly Gray. That huge long point, they had many opportunities to score. The point before this, like if you look at the Molly Gray body language, their bodies are down. They just look a little bit deflated. They're still fighting on the field, but you can almost see the switch of like.
What a grab there from Boisvert.
Is the game, like it's 13-8, is the game going to be over as opposed to we can still make a comeback? And players subconsciously, whether or not they know it or would admit to that is what they're doing, really seems like a switch has happened here.
But it's not over till it's over, as they say.
And so we have another point. That's a
decent pull in this win, actually.
Yeah.
Right over to the sideline, too. Patterson.
Oh, we get the two-person
Slattery crashing into the cup, looking for that flick huck. She finds it. Nice completion there. Michelle Yang in the end zone with the score. Beautiful use of crashing into that cup and that power position for that flick huck.
Slattery doesn't need the power position for a flick huck. She can stand and shoot it. Something that she's really known for. But yeah, we can see just the touch and the angle that she has on the downwind forehand. It's great placement. And it was a great work sealing by, was that Yang?
Yeah.
You know, to make sure that her defender was behind her and would have to go through her to even attempt a block to really be able to secure that catch.
Great seal out there.
And that's what Molly Gray needs, right? A 3-4 pass score.
They do. They need to get these breaks quickly because we are coming up 10 minutes to the time cap. We can't have another long slog of a point like the last one, or they will just run out of time.
Every point is precious. You know, and when you're Masters eligible, when you're like in the Masters division, every point is precious. Like you never know when your career is going to end, when it's time to retire.
Don't say that. You're reminding me of my ending career.
And mine.
And we're going to go this way.
We can celebrate and lament together.
Roden. Oh, pardon me. Robinson with that flick huck. Dixon picks it off in the air, flying.
Dixon.
Foster with the disc.
I love these lady hugs that we're seeing. curving around.
Walker back to Dixon, over to Foster on the sideline. Maybe that D was just the boost of energy that Molly Gray needed. And if anyone was going to do it, it was Dixon.
There's
Up to Smith now. Molly Gray gaining yards. Walker. Back to Dixon. Smith, can she hold on to it?
Oh! Good second effort.
Couldn't quite get underneath that in this wind. It just pushed it a little too far away from her. We have Robinson picking up now for lowercase. Molly Gray setting up a bit of a cup around her.
Trying to really seal it to that sideline. That cup does look a little double TV.
Oh, and Foster picks it out of the air. Tries to pop one over top, and Foster says, not today.
Rules of Ultimate say that you have to be 10 feet away, 3 meters for
The second player, yeah. Oh, an unfortunate miscatch there by Foster. Robinson now. Huge gaining pass, but just too low to the ground, and Blackett can't get underneath it. Dixon to pick up. Black. And a big D! Robinson coming from behind and just snacks on that from the air.
Throw a turn, gotta get a block, gotta keep your stat sheet even.
And Atkinson with the easy open side cut for the score on that one.
It's great work by lowercase. Molly Gray is now in a do or die situation.
They are 8 minutes to go till time cap.
And 1 point away from lowercase scoring to end the game at 15. Molly Gray would have to go on a 6-point run here in order to win this game.
I've seen it done before. I've seen teams come back from a 10-1 deficit to win a game. It's not easy, but it can be done.
It can be done.
And I think with the level of play that we are seeing from both of these teams, even when there is that point differential that we're seeing right now, if lowercase were to let up at all, you know that Molly Gray would just take advantage of it, hands down.
Absolutely. And I think that undercuts lowercase a little bit. I think they have so much skill and expertise that they know that could be coming. They're not going to let up. They're going to keep fighting, keep pushing until they close out this game, because this game is going to be the difference maker in seeding for this pool, because nobody wants to face Reboot Squad.
Both came in with a 3-0 record. Slattery with a huge huck. You're right, just a standing huck from Slattery will be completed to Marilyn Reich, and a one-pass score from Molly Gray.
That's what they need.
Those quick scores, you were just saying, that is exactly what they need. Now they just need to do it again.
Doing it upwind is going to be significantly more challenging. Yeah, this throw right here that Slattery is putting up, that beautiful flick huck, so much touch, so much power. That is the throw that Slattery is known for.
Do you think that was a called play?
Absolutely. You have a great receiver in Reich, great throw in Slattery.
Now, if you're lowercase, you are putting a strong line on right now to close this game out. You do not want to give Molly Gray a chance to get back in it now.
And also, you want to be able to refuel for tomorrow, right? You want this game to be over so that you can start taking care of your body. You know, Worlds events are unlike any other Ultimate tournament because you are playing for 6, 7, 8 days straight, depending on what your schedule looks like. And it's such a strain on your body that you have to be foam rolling and hydrating and filling up on protein every time so that you are ready to go like these players are.
Especially for us old fogies.
Aches and pains everywhere.
Final to Robinson. Back to Final. Back to Robinson, playing a little bit of give and go through this Molly Gray cup. Not a lot of options, has to go for an over-the-top throw, but Robinson manages to grab onto that under pressure.
I really love how Blotch in this
Atkinson. Oh! What an important deep from Catherine Page Smith. Knocks it out of the air. Those high releases in this wind, it's just so risky.
That's such a great heads-up D.
Oh, an overthrow by Dixon will give lowercase another chance. They're right on the end zone line. This could be the game. Karen Pinar picks up the disc.
Flat in the mark
Huge
here.
fakes. Just out of the reach of Boisvert, but there was some potential contact.
It does look like there was a foul call.
It looks like it was actually an offensive foul called, and it's a turnover. Good spirit there. They had a little discussion. You could see Boisvert nodding her head like, yes, I fouled you. No contest. It will be a turnover. Good spirit from both players.
It's really good.
Oh my God! Was that a huge hand block? Okay, no, they're discussing. They're discussing.
Conversation is, was the disc out of her hand? Was the disc still in her hand?
No foul was called. That is a hand block.
Oh my
From
goodness.
Emily Atkinson. What a hand block right on the goal line.
Right at the end of the game.
Robinson with the disc now. And a huge layout grab from Boisvert, and that is the game. Lowercase take Molly Gray 15-10. What a game.
We've had a ball out here today. So much fight, so much heart, so many phenomenal athletic plays. This is what women's and non-binary ultimate is all about.
This is the game that we came to see today. What a game. These are the kind of games that you play for.
These are the games that you come to Ireland, you come to the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships for, right? As a player, like you want that fight, you want the grit, you want the celebration, like that riding of emotions.
Fantastic game. Well, we have more where that came from. Come back tomorrow. We've got 2 fields on Showcase for tomorrow. We'll have 2 streams at the same time on the WFDF YouTube channel. Copyright 2022, World Flying Disc Federation. I hope you enjoyed the game as much as we did, because man, that was fun.
It was a blast. Hope to see you next time.
Until then.
Woo!
Alti.tv.
Okay, everybody who's commenting over here. Sanjira, yours. Hey, how are you? Okay, Sanji, come here. Try and get this started as quick as we can.